Hey guys, before we dive into this mind-blowing tech, just a quick heads up. What you're about to see is the future. This system is currently in the late planning stages and is getting ready to launch very soon. Think of this as your exclusive first look at what's coming to change the game.
Hyderabad is a sprawling, complex metropolis covering roughly 650 square kilometers. And across that massive footprint, the city has been fighting a losing battle against a microscopic enemy, relying on traditional, street-level tactics. For decades, the standard protocol has been chemical fogging, specifically pumping a pesticide called malathion into the streets. But this blanket approach has a flaw. The local mosquito population is actively building a chemical resistance to it over time. There are severe logistical limits, too. Fogging is only effective during a narrow 2-hour evening window. Even then, when the trucks roll down one avenue, the mosquitoes simply evade the local cloud by flying a block over. These reactive blanket chemical sprays struggle to keep pace with an evolving, agile biological threat in such a hyper-dense urban environment. To actually win this fight, you have to target the source. You have to locate and destroy their urban nurseries before the eggs ever hatch. That introduces a massive scale problem. A human civic workforce is mathematically too small to manually sweep millions of potential water sources across a 650 square kilometer grid on foot. These microhabitats easily hide in plain sight. Rooftops, active construction zones, and clogged concrete drainage canals hold tiny pockets of stagnant water that ground patrols walk right past every single day. To stop an enemy hidden inside a megacity, you have to abandon ground-level searches and look from the sky. Managing this volume of potential breeding sites requires moving past human-led ground searches toward a model built on massive data collection and an orbital perspective. Before building a surveillance grid, researchers had to narrow the scope of the threat. Out of the 3,500 mosquito species on Earth, the technology is hunting only 3 specific urban offenders, each with a distinct biological profile. First is the Culex mosquito, which accounts for about 65% of the local population. It specifically seeks out murky, highly polluted sewage and drainage water to lay its eggs. Conversely, the Aedes mosquito demands tiny pools of fresh, stagnant water, like a forgotten bucket after a rainstorm. And the Anopheles mosquito, which historically preferred clean water, is now actively adapting to survive in polluted pools as well. Because these species require entirely different aquatic environments to reproduce, a single one-size-fits-all search method will fail. The grid must be adaptable. To map these distinct environments, civic leaders partnered with the zoology department at Osmania University. The first layer of their grid starts in space. Using WorldView's satellite imagery, the team maps the city's topography, charting major lakes and wide waterlogging zones from orbit. These satellites provide a 30-centimeter, or roughly 1 foot, resolution. That is incredible for macrogeography, but it isn't sharp enough to spot a small puddle hiding in an alley. While satellites provide the ultimate wide-angle map, they cannot penetrate the complex physical layers of a modern city. Orbital cameras are completely blinded by thick tree canopies, deep roof overhangs, and shadowed gaps between apartment buildings. To see what the satellites miss, researchers deploy the MESA layer, fleets of low-flying drones that swoop beneath the canopy to map the unseen city. This comparison shows the massive upgrade in visual clarity. By flying low, the drones increase the resolution from a 30-centimeter block down to a staggering 5-centimeter resolution. At 5 centimeters, you can accurately identify a discarded tire, a clogged plastic gutter, or a tiny construction puddle tucked behind a wall. Drones solve the visibility problem perfectly. However, they instantly create a crippling data processing problem, producing millions of high-resolution images that no human team could realistically review. To parse that impossible volume of data, the grid requires a third layer, artificial intelligence. This scan demonstrates how AI processes drone imagery, identifying habitats for Culex, Aedes, and Anopheles mosquitoes. It instantly color-codes water sources as polluted or fresh. By cross-referencing this with seasonal data, the system calculates exactly where water will pool next. The system moves beyond historical mapping to identify future risk areas, mathematically pinpointing where the next outbreak is likely to start. This leads to the critical final phase, known as ground truthing, where the technology hands the baton directly back to the human workers. Civic crews no longer wander aimlessly through neighborhoods. They are deployed like precision strike units, sent to exact AI-provided coordinates to neutralize confirmed threats. As Professor Naik points out, this technology isn't a permanent magic wand. If a team cleans a polluted site today, a new puddle will inevitably form in the exact same spot next week. But by abandoning reactive chemical clouds in favor of a continuous, proactive AI data loop, massive modern cities finally have the logistical capability to stay one step ahead of humanity's oldest biological enemy.
So remember, this isn't quite ready to use yet. It's a massive project currently being built and will be rolling out in the coming days. Stay tuned to Sagar Learning by following Sagar Learning Instagram page and subscribe to Sagar Learning YouTube channel because you'll be the first to know when it officially drops.